During the General Committee meeting last week, Mayor Alex Nuttall and councillors discussed affordable housing and community development in Barrie, including budget and financial planning. Councilor Harvey proposed a deferral motion to consider the budget and financial planning at the first General Committee meeting in October. This will give residents less time to understand budget specific as final presentation starts in November.
When you look at this report, it's very extensive. It's 224 pages. Also, too, all of the departments are currently in the midst of budget discussions, and obviously this is going to be the first budget where you have the ability to exercise your strong mayor powers, and ultimately it will be, for the most part, your budget coming forward. And I think it's more appropriate that this all be considered at the same time, and we'll be and you'll be in much better position on that October date to have more fulsome discussions about the plan and the financing around moving forward.
Later during the City Council meeting, a resident of Barrie expressed significant concerns about the city's plan for building affordable housing in his neighborhood.
Though more disturbing than a lot of the things that have gone on is how the county and the city have manufactured the criminality that surrounds us and the city, brought on willingly and knowingly by their partnership and continued funding of operations that would grow this criminality to untenable levels that were already out of control, which has created devastation to citizens, has breached our charter rights of our security of person, while living peaceably, lawfully, in good faith, and in good standing. Tonight you're going to talk about parking, and you heard from many, many other people about the ridiculousness of why planning was ever put in place and how you are summarily running away from it. And there's lots of reasons that seem very clear as to why that is. But let's talk about the parking at 20 Rose Street. $15 to $20 million to build a parking structure.
During the same City Council meeting, Councillor Anne-Marie Kungal introduced a motion to address the ongoing physician shortage in Ontario, which is also impacting Barrie. The motion called on the Ontario government to fund healthcare appropriately to ensure all Ontarians have access to necessary medical care. The motion was passed, and it was brought forward in part due to an upcoming conference by the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. Following is the video of General Committee and City Council meetings.
The first item on the agenda is the consent agenda. I'll read out the titles associated with the recommended motions printed on the agenda. Members of the General Committee may ask that an item be held to discuss it further. If the item is not held, the motion is deemed to be approved on consent. No further discussion of the item will take place at General Committee, and the recommended motions will go forward to the City next Council meeting for consideration. There were two reports of reference committees that we'll also have items from, but before that we'll have updates from the chairs. Councilor Harris, I'll go with you for the first one on the Affordability Committee dated June 12th, 2024. I'll jump to Councilor Harvey here.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. So yeah, Finance and Responsible Governance Committee met on June the 19th. A few of the items actually passed on consent. The first one was item from the International Relations Committee and Invest Barrie in regards to a delegation, a trade delegation going to, I'm going to blow this pronunciation, Baden-Württemberg, Germany. I probably should have just said Germany. And then also to a delegation to go to Saginaw, Michigan, which is our newest sister city, or twin city. We then had a update from our internal audit status for Q2 of this year. And we had a delegation from the Barrie Skateboard Park 25th anniversary present to council, and there was direction to staff to meet and work with them in regards to their 25th anniversary celebration coming up this September. And I know we've seen some internal correspondence where that's ongoing. And then there was also a confidential document in regards to a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality in regards to a water lot.
Thank you, Councilor Harvey, and I'm going to now go to Councilor Harris, please.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I apologize for the delay. At our affordability meeting, the key items that we had a community improvement plan discussion regarding the heritage properties, and that was one of the key topics. We also had a presentation regarding where am I? My notes. Oh, yeah. The 20 Rose Street file, which is an interesting property. County of Simcoe Housing did their presentation. There was some very interesting comments from residents and a lot of comments regarding the proposal, which will see a large number of supported and affordable housing units available for citizens. I think, and those were really the key ones. We went a little bit longer, so we rescheduled the presentation from the Toronto Real Estate Board to a later date. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Harris. I'll now go through the motions. FRG1, International Relations Committee and Invest Barrie German Trade Delegation. Approved on consent. FRG2, Saginaw, Michigan Delegation. Approved on consent. FRG3, Q2 2024 Internal Audit Status Update. Approved on consent. FRG4, Barrie Skateboard Park 25th Anniversary. Approved on consent. FRG5, Confidential Memorandum concerning a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality water lot. Approved on consent. Now moving to staff reports. Update to pool enclosure bylaw. Approved on consent. DEV 030-24, the Parks Strategic Plan Update.
Hold, please.
Councilor Harvey. DEV 024-24, Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application, 460 Lockhart Road, Ward 9. Approved on consent. Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application, 560 Lockhart Road. That is approved on consent. Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application, 377 Big Bay Point Road. It's approved on consent. Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application 20 Rose Street, Ward 2. That's approved on consent. DEV 035-24 Speed Limit Review Veterans Drive and Mackay Road, Wards 6, 7, and 8. It's approved on consent. DEV 036-24 2-hour parking limit Davidson Street. That's approved on consent. I would like to, at this point, though, declare my own conflict of interest on this matter, as I own property adjacent to the changes in the street. Madam Clerk, is the conflict being noted?
Yes, Mayor Nuttall, it has.
Thank you. And Deputy Mayor, at the later meeting, you'll have to take the chair, and I'll have to leave the chair at that point. FAC 004-24. It's approved on consent. FIN 015-24. That's approved on consent. IGM 003-24. That's approved on consent. LCS 005-24. And that's approved on consent. Members of the public, with the exception of the Park Strategic Plan Update, everything has been approved that was on the agenda this evening. I see our friends from the County of Simcoe are with us in the room. And for those who live in the Rose Street area, it was approved as it was written. And the affordable housing as well as the other services will be there. And we had a great meeting today And I think over the next few months, there'll be a removal of the temporary units there coming as well. So just as a little bit of an update on that matter. And finally, before we jump into the agenda, Councilor Harvey, I wanted to take the opportunity to recognize Mr. Miller, who's giving me that smile right now, but we won't see that smile around very often anymore, will we? Congratulations on behalf of Council and the City of Barrie on your years of service here, over a decade, serving the City of Barrie, making sure that our budgets were done well prepared, clearly articulated, and I think probably dealing with more questions about budgets than one would ever want to actually have to answer. But seriously, all the work you've done and working with your colleagues, everyone respects you immensely. And I just want to say, on behalf of myself, on behalf of previous mayors and councils as well, thank you so much for serving us so well, and we wish you nothing but the best in the future.
I'll enjoy this. I wish my kids were seeing this.
Well, the good news is it's on YouTube, so you can show your kids tomorrow. Okay, Councilor Harvey, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Fortunately or unfortunately, usually we don't have an opportunity to do that, as usually by the time they're leaving, we don't have another council meeting to be able to embarrass and recognize them that way. So I'll put the matter on the floor as printed, and I do have an amendment, or I guess a deferral motion, I should say.
Yep.
I would like to defer this matter to our first general committee meeting in October, which is October the 9th of this year, and I can speak to that.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. When you look at this report, it's very extensive. It's 224 pages. Also, too, all of the departments are currently in the midst of budget discussions, and obviously this is going to be the first budget where you have the ability to exercise your strong mayor powers, and ultimately it will be, for the most part, your budget coming forward. And I think it's more appropriate that this all be considered at the same time, and we'll be and you'll be in much better position on that October date to have more fulsome discussions about the plan and the financing around moving forward, because it does pertain to moving forward in 2025 and nothing immediate here in 2024.
Thank you, Councilor Harvey. The deferral motion's on the floor. Are there any comments or questions on the deferral motion? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. We are, this might be one of the fastest GCs we've had. Don't jinx it. We're now at inquiries. Are there any inquiries on my right? Any inquiries on my left? Seeing none. Deputy Mayor?
I have none, thank you.
Councilor Kungle?
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. If I may just make an announcement, which is really a note of appreciation. We had 2 international judges join us at the end of July for our Communities in Bloom program. It was the first time we've competed while participating for the last 25 years internationally, and that really has been encouraged by judges in the past based on what we are able to do, both through Council, present and past direction on focusing in on things that matter around natural heritage, to military history and heritage, to waterfront restorations, to how we actually look at moving our fleet into electrified and net zero builds. And so we were able to showcase that again. So we welcomed a judge from Belgium and Hungary, and we are fingers crossed for some good news in October when we get the results. But I would really like to take a moment to thank Mona Boyd, who's our horticultural foreperson in the horticultural team, knowing that that department usually gets a lot of support in the summer, but it's a very lean department through the rest of the year that carries that forward. And to staff both present tonight in your respective teams, but in particular, Mr. Arenia Sundarin for being with us throughout that, especially around supporting individuals to come forward. Kelly Oakley was there showcasing our very first fully electric truck as part of our fleet, and showcased a lot of how we're moving forward in that, and showcased our landfill to other pieces. So thank you to members of council that were able to join us, the library and other partners that hosted us and showcased those pieces. But really, from everything we're doing from our business community and engagement to all of our different assets and how we operate, Ms. McAlpine and your team, but really across all departments, this team really was a showcase around the strength of the municipality. And so I appreciate what you do, and I think it was a great way to have staff come to South Shore and actually have different stations. I think we also learned a lot about what's happening across departments, and we're hoping to have a public thank you. You'll hear more about probably in November after we get the results, to thank residents, because it really is residents that choose to participate and showcase their properties, businesses, schools, and engagement across the board. So thank you for playing your part.
Thank you, Councillor, and please do pass our thanks on from Council to the entire committee and staff team that have worked with you on that as well when you're in person. Any other announcements for tonight? Seeing none, I do want to take this opportunity to thank Marshall Green for the work that he has done volunteering for the city over the last number of weeks. And I think that he's an incredibly, number one, gifted person when it comes to writing and working through all of the competing interests that were certainly being voiced, and being able to then articulate it in the way that he did. I just want to say thank you on behalf of the city of Barrie, because it was not an easy job to do. I say job, but it was a volunteer position, so we didn't get paid, so it's not a job, but you know what I mean. And I think he did it with class, and he was very effective in the way he communicated his recommendations in the end as well. So Marshall, I know you're probably taking a rest right now, not watching Barrie City Council, but in case you are, thank you on behalf of the city of Barrie. With that, I believe we're going to go into a plethora of circulation lists. So we have the circulation lists from June 19th and June 26th. Are there any items there? July 3rd and July 10th. July 17th, 24th, and 31st. August 7th and 14th. Okay. Well, that brings us to the end of our general committee meeting. We'll take about 10 minutes or 5 minutes, 10 minutes? 10 minutes before we start our city council meeting, so we'll reconvene at 8:50 p.m. right in the chambers here. Thanks, everyone. We have no student mayors this evening, so we're going to move right into the confirmation of the minutes. The first item, it's the minutes of the City Council meeting held on June 19th, 2024. They've been circulated. Are there any corrections with regards to the minutes? Seeing none, they are adopted as printed. There's no awards and recognition or reports from officers. Deputations. Now, I believe that we could have an emergency deputation on items that have been approved earlier this evening. Is there anyone who would like to make a deputation with regards to the approved items on the agenda from the General Committee meeting earlier this evening? Yes, sir. So when you come down to the platform, I know it's not the normal route because we've done both things in one night. So if we could turn on the microphones for the gentleman, if you could say your name and your address for the record.
Do I have to turn it on? Oh, it's already on. Okay.
It's on, yep.
My name's Don Owen, 41 Ottawa.
Welcome, sir.
I'm not really sure how we've gotten to this part where we're going to build affordable housing in our neighborhood. So it's a little bit distressing. So the county says that it wants to build, it doesn't want to build projects, but that's exactly what it's going to do. It's unconscionable that council thinks that this is an affordable thing. You can just look at the numbers and it doesn't. Tonight, you had a meeting, I don't know, it sounded like it was in closed doors, but I don't know if it really was. Though more disturbing than a lot of the things that have gone on is how the county and the city have manufactured the criminality that surrounds us and the city, brought on willingly and knowingly by their partnership and continued funding of operations that would grow this criminality to untenable levels that were already out of control, which has created devastation to citizens. It has breached our charter rights of our security of person while living peaceably, lawfully, in good faith, and in good standing. Tonight you're going to talk about parking, and you heard from many, many other people about the ridiculousness of why planning was ever put in place and how you are summarily running away from it. And there's lots of reasons that seem very clear as to why that is. But let's talk about the parking at 20 Rose Street. $15 to $20 million to build a parking structure. A reasonable person knows this is not reasonable. And worse, not enough parking. To propose this in an affordability housing crisis is negligent. It's municipal malfeasance. The recent revised traffic report, which clearly says that the writer doesn't take responsibility for the report or its use of it to make a decision from. Though when you listen to the plan and the proposal, what you're going to hear is it's a really nice parkade. Nice facade. Nobody will be able to look in. You won't see the cars. It'll be pretty. For those of us that live surrounded by lawlessness, created by the city and their partners, in and around our homes, our private properties, and our businesses that support this community. We know this to be a new business center for criminals. The services that will be offered, depending on what it put on site, will bring more crime, more violence, which we just witnessed last week. This has been well documented across the province and the country, and we have witnessed it in our city repeatedly. The county is going to build a place for illicit use of criminals surrounded by the vulnerable. This will be away from prying eyes because of the facade. It's so nice. It won't be away from our neighborhood and the citizens that will have to contend with what it'll bring. We know this because we have dealt with it. And we've been coming forward to those responsible for it for decades. Currently, more unhoused are taking up residence on the northwest side of Ottawa. Parking isn't the issue. A housing project that is surely to bring more issues to an already overburdened neighborhood and city should have been seen by the planners as the actual issue, as it breaches the Planning Act and the city's fiduciary duty to its citizens. Other than that, affordable housing can be acquired today throughout the city and the county from housing stock. And this is known and permissible under the funding. This would be more effective, more efficient, and help a lot more people while meeting what the county says it should do. It would be in the best interest of the public, those that actually need it, and the vulnerable. Having services in a building when so many government buildings are empty and unused is criminal and shows the insincerity of this endeavor and perhaps exposes what it is really about, moving money. Council, we're asking you to represent the law-abiding citizens of the city. that have come to the council for decades in good faith. That you exercise care, diligence, skill, that a reasonable, prudent person would exercise in comparable circumstances. We ask that you do your duty that you swore to and end this project. It would also seem quite prudent that the city review any and all partnerships with the county, and that this be done in the name of security of person, public interest, public trust, and public safety. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your deputation. I did give an extra 45 seconds, and appreciate you, speeding up to the end, so thank you. Are there any questions for the deputant tonight? I'm seeing none. On your final piece you said there about the relationship with the county, I will tell you that City Council has asked for a value for money audit related to social services in the city, which is what is inside of our control at this point. And we are mandated through provincial law to be essentially in this relationship with the county. And so I would urge you, and I can certainly pass it on, but I would urge you to share that thought with your provincial representative, because they are the ones who have control over the services, the social services across the province, and who are the delivery managers.
We've contacted our MPs.
Okay.
They don't answer their phone.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure that that was okay.
I noticed the last pass off.
Yeah. Okay.
Not your problem. Not your zoo, not your monkeys.
Well, I think it's all of our problem, but yes. Thank you, sir. Are there any other deputations this evening for City Council? I am seeing none. So we'll go past tax applications and communications, as there are none, to committee reports. I believe, Deputy Mayor Thompson, that you've been provided the committee reports, and so we'll start with Section A.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that Section A of the First General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be adopted.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section A of the First General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be adopted. ECD 006-24, confidential acquisition of property rights, trade secret, or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or other labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with the contractual or other negotiations of a person or group of persons' economic development opportunity. This is report, again, ECD 006-24. Are there any comments or questions on this report? And, sorry, I've left out two items here. 8.1, which is confidential matter relating to a trade secret or scientific, technical, commercial, financial, or labor relations information supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board, which, if disclosed, could reasonably be expected to prejudice significantly the competitive position or interfere significantly with contractual or other negotiations of a person or group of persons' board assignment. And this is 8.1 and 8.2, confidential personal information matter, naming of municipal assets. Are there any questions or comments on those? Seeing none, all in favor? And it's approved. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that Section B of the First General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section B of the First General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be received. CAO 003-24, confidential instructions to be applied to negotiations concerning a potential disposition of property rights and commercial information of another party. This is again report CAO 003-24. The second item is LGL 003-24, confidential acquisition or disposition of property matter, city property, report LGL 003-24. Are there any questions or comments with regards to these reports? Seeing none, all those in favor? That carries.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that Section C of the First General Committee report dated August 14, 2024 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section C of the First General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be adopted. This is CAO 003-24, confidential instructions to be applied to negotiations concerning a potential disposition of property rights and commercial information of another party. Again, it's report CAO 003-24. Are there any questions or comments with regards to Section C? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that Section D of the First General Committee report dated August 14, 2024 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section D of the First General Committee report dated August 14, 2024 be adopted. LGL 003-24, confidential acquisition or disposition of property matter, city property. Any questions or comments on this matter? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that Section A of the Second General Committee report dated August 14, 2024 be received.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section A of the General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be received. This is AF 240814, report of the Affordability Committee dated June 12th, 2024, and FRG 240814, report of the Finance and Responsible Governance Committee dated June 19th, 2024. Are there any questions or comments with regards to the matters? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carries. Deputy Mayor.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that Section B of the Second General Committee report dated August 14, 2024 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section B of the Second General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be adopted. This is FRG 1, International Relations Committee and Invest Barrie German Trade Delegation, FRG 2, Saginaw, Michigan Delegation, FRG 3, Q2 24, Internal Audit Status Update, FRG 4, Barrie Skateboard Park 25th Anniversary, FRG 5, Confidential Memorandum concerning a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality water lot, BLD 001-24, Update to Pool Enclosure Bylaw, DEV 031-24, Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application, 460 Lockhart Road, Ward 9, DEV 032-24, Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application, 560 Lockhart Road, Ward 9, DEV 033-24, Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application, 377 Big Bay Point Road, Barrie, Ward 9, DEV 034-24, Zoning Bylaw Amendment Application, 20 Rose Street, Ward 2, DEV 035-24, Speed Limit Review, Veterans Drive and Mackay Road, Wards 6, 7, and 8. FAC 004-24, Facilities Planning and Development, 2024 Capital Funding. FIN 015-24, Revenue Branch Staffing. IGM 003-24, Staffing Optimization and Organizational Efficiencies. LCS 005-24, Joint Processing Center Staffing. I'm just going to confirm. Perfect, that was all of them. Any questions or comments with any of those items on the floor? Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'll put the motion on the floor. It was more just to highlight the optimization of the organization efficiencies. If you've read the report, it's some really great work, and it just shows that staff are, doing everything they possibly can to the efficiencies and, running the city as lean as possible. There's sometimes people don't believe that municipal workers look to, run a lean ship, and I think this report actually states that, and it's proof in the pudding. So to CAO pros, if you could pass that on to the appropriate people, I thought it was great.
Thank you, Mayor, Deputy Mayor Thompson.
I'm sure it'll be front page tomorrow. Any other questions or comments on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Carries.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon. That's section D of the,
I'm going to vacate the chair right now and pass it over to the Deputy Mayor. Do I need to disclose why first? So I have a potential issue here, conflict of interest here, because I own property immediately adjacent to where the change in parking regulations are going to take place.
I believe Councilor Kungle has the, go ahead.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor Thompson. I have a motion moved by myself, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section C of the Second General Report dated August 14th, 2024 be adopted, and the motion is regarding DEV 036-24, a 2-hour parking limit, Davidson Street, Ward 2.
Moved by Councilor Kungle, second by Councilor Nixon, that section C of the Second General Committee report. Sorry about that. Moved by Councilor Kungle, second by Councilor Nixon, that section C of the Second General Committee report dated August 14, 2024 be adopted. 2-hour parking limit on Davis Street, Ward 2. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, I call the vote. Passes.
You guys will pay for that one later. Just kidding. We have no deferred business, and we're going to move directly to, Section D. I've forgotten about Section D. Sorry about that. Deputy Mayor.
We get him out of the chair for a minute. He loses himself. See that? He's all compartmented. Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that Section D of the Second General Committee report dated August 14, 2024 be adopted.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that Section D of the General Committee report dated August 14th, 2024 be adopted. This is DEV 030-24, the Parks Strategic Plan Update. This was deferred until the next General Committee meeting. Are there any comments or questions with regards to Section D? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Now we are through our reports, and we're going to move past deferred business as there's none into our direct motions. Councillor Kungle, I believe you have a direct motion without notice.
I do. Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. So moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris, that pursuant to Section 7.1 of the Procedural Bylaw 2019-100 as amended, permission be granted to introduce a motion without notice concerning a physician's shortage. Sorry about that. Thanks.
It's moved by Councillor Kungle and seconded by Councillor Harris that pursuant to Section 7.1 of the Procedural Bylaw 2019-100 as amended, permission be granted to introduce a motion without notice concerning a physician shortage. I don't believe we can debate the matter, so I'm going to go right to the vote. All those in favor? And it carries. Councillor Kungle.
Thank you, Mayor Nuttall. I'll introduce the motion with an appreciation because I know we don't kind of like these things coming last minute. So when I can speak to the motion, I'll make my apologies to the clerk and to council. So the motion is moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Harris. Whereas the state of healthcare in Ontario is in crisis with 2.3 million Ontarians lacking access to a family doctor, emergency room closures across the province, patients being derostered, and 40% of family doctors considering retirement over the next 5 years. And whereas Ontario municipal and regional governments play an integral role in the healthcare system through responsibilities in public health, long-term care, paramedicine, and other investments. And whereas the percentage of family physicians practicing comprehensive family medicine has declined from 77% in 2008 to 65% in 2022. And whereas the per capita health spending in Ontario is the lowest overall of all provinces in Canada, and whereas a robust workforce development through a provincial sector-wide health human resource strategy would significantly improve access to health services across the province, Now therefore it be resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Barrie urge the Province of Ontario to recognize the physician shortage in the City of Barrie and Ontario, to fund healthcare appropriately and ensure every Ontarian has access to physician care. And I can speak to that.
It's moved by Councilor Kungl, seconded by Councilor Harris. Whereas the state of healthcare in Ontario is in crisis with 2.3 million Ontarians lacking access to a family doctor, emergency room closures across the province, patients being derostered, and 40% of family doctors considering retirement over the next 5 years. And whereas Ontario municipal and regional governments play an integral role in the healthcare system through responsibilities in public health, long-term care, paramedicine, and other investments. Whereas the percentage of family physicians practicing comprehensive family medicine has declined from 77 in 2005 to 65% in 2022. Whereas per capita healthcare spending in Ontario is the lowest of all the provinces in Canada. Whereas a robust workforce developed through provincial sector-wide health human resource strategy would significantly improve access to health services across the province. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Corporation of the City of Barrie urge the Province of Ontario to recognize the physician shortage in the City of Barrie and Ontario, to fund healthcare appropriately and ensure every Ontarian has access to physician care. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So for a little bit of context on this and why we still wanted to see about it becoming a direct motion, is that we do have the Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference next week. This is positioned, it's referenced in our circulation list, Section C from the August 7th posting. It's a very formal notice from AMO, so the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, with OMA, which is our Ontario Medical Association. And they are collectively advocating for the 444 municipalities in Ontario to vocalize, advocacy around recognizing the physician shortages and collectively doing some work effort. And I think some of us are at different health system tables and have a really direct line to what's happening in the strength of partnerships, but we have seen that through years and years and retirements of some of our frontline physicians. And so this is really, I think, a call to action, knowing that we've got some pressure points, and assuming that you hear, as I do, from residents seeking access to a family physician in the city, unattached patients, access to walk-in clinics, the need for greater support in that area. So we do a good job, I think, of putting money on the table, I believe, with our physician recruitment task force. And so I think this is in alignment with that and aligns to a global advocacy effort going right through all municipalities of Ontario. And I'm not sure if Councillor Harris wants to speak to that as a seconder, but happy to be able to bring this to the table for consideration by Council.
Thank you, Councillor. Any other questions or comments with regards to the motion on the floor? Seeing none. All those in favor? Carries. There's no more direct motions, I assume, without notice either, and so we're going to move past presentations, as there are none, and into inquiries again. You find any inquiries in the last half an hour there, Deputy Mayor? And announcements we had earlier as well. Just a couple before we go into the bylaws. Nominations are being accepted for the 2024 Barrie Arts Awards until the 26th of August. The awards honor individuals and organizations for contributions to the arts sector. Winners will be celebrated at the annual gala in the fall. For further information or to submit a nomination, please visit barrie.ca/artsawards. City of Barrie waterfront lifeguards will be officially off duty for the season on Friday, August 23rd at Johnson's Beach, and then Friday, August 30th at Centennial Beach. Swim buoy lines, including drop-off markers, will be removed for the season on Wednesday, September 4th. For further information, visit barrie.ca. Registration for the City of Barrie's fall programming are now open, with the fall programs beginning on the 21st of September. For further information regarding our registration and drop-in schedules, visit play.barrie.ca. Ramp closures at Essa Road and Highway 400 are expected to take place until the 23rd of August as part of the Ministry of Transportation's Essa Road Interchange and 400 Overpass Replacement Project. For further information on ramp closures, please visit barrie.ca/planning building infrastructure /current projects /municipal infrastructure projects /Essa Road Interchange Highway 400 Overpass Replacement MTO. And if you get that, then you deserve an award. That is all of my announcements for this evening, and I'll move to the bylaws. Deputy Mayor Thompson, the bylaws, please.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon, that leave be granted to introduce the following bills. These bills be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Bill 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon. The leave be granted to introduce the following bills, and these bills be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bills 80 to 88. Any questions or comments on the bills this evening? Seeing none, all those in favor? It carries. Deputy Mayor Thompson, the most important piece of the night.
Moved by myself, second by Councilor Nixon. Leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time and finally passed. Bill 89, the confirmation bylaw.
It's moved by Deputy Mayor Thompson, seconded by Councilor Nixon, that leave be granted to introduce the following bill, and this bill be read a first, second, and third time this day and finally passed. Bill 89. Any questions or comments with regards to the confirmation bylaw? Seeing none, all those in favor, it carries. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Councilors Morales and Harvey, all those in favor of adjournment, it's unanimous. I hope everyone
That was the update from the City Hall. Thank you for watching.